Let me say, with all due respect to Democrat friends in the room, I could never support Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I know them too well. I'm a conservative. I'm not in a bad mood about it, but they just represent a philosophy of government that I could ever support. But I'm staying out of the presidential campaign beyond that. I haven't endorsed our ticket, only because I have real concerns about the direction of the Republican Party today. I see increasingly voices in our party that are prepared to walk away from our allies and American leadership in the world. Voices that are prepared to ignore the national debt. Voices that are marginalizing the sanctity of life. And the former president's continued insistence that I should have set aside my oath on that fateful day. But for me, in the run-up to that fateful day, it was always very clear. I mean, the idea that any one person would have the ability to decide what electoral college votes to count or to send back to the states, to me was antithetical to the very nature of the presidency. The presidency belongs to the American people and the American people alone. So, but you asked a question about how we felt that day, and I would tell you that I was not afraid, but I was angry. To be honest with you, I always thought he would come around to see that he had been misinformed about my authority and duty that day. But that was not to be, and as time went on, he returned to much of the rhetoric that preceded that day. And so we've gone our separate ways, but I want to assure you, I will always be grateful for the privilege that he gave me to be your vice president. I'll always be proud of the record we created for the American people. I have a hope and a confidence that we'll move through this election. We'll have the decision, and then the American people will do what we always do, and that is we'll come together and we will face the common challenges that our nation faces. How do we revive our economy? How do we secure our border? How do we make sure America's standing tall in the world, respecting our values of every American in freedom? And so I'm very optimistic, but I'm optimistic because I have faith.